We just got the 3, 2 silent count 1, and we're started, Alan. You didn't know it, but that's what we
And
got
I
from
had
our
my
directive.
fingers weren't lined up with the 3, 2, 1.
So we're ready, and we're going to do some SNL kind of stuff. Really, I mean, we're bringing back former guests, kind of having the tribute. You know, we just had our 4th year anniversary. Got a lot of celebration comments about our 4th year anniversary from the
That's nice.
newsletter that went out. If you didn't get the newsletter, please subscribe to the newsletter. Little preemie
You
podcast.
really have your NPR voice going
You
today.
like that?
No, not really.
All right,
It
let me
makes
get it
me
going.
uncomfortable.
All right. So I said, he goes, man, you're always too amped up. I'm like, all right, buddy, I'm going to bring it
I
back.
didn't. That is not exactly what I
Oh,
said.
all
It
right.
was
Well,
just the talking over me part that.
what? All right, that's enough. Let's go
Okay.
back to me.
I'll get back in my corner.
Oh my gosh. So, Alan, we've got a
Hmm.
great guest today, but before we get to our guest,
It's got to
we,
be about you.
well, it was Labor Day,
Yeah.
and we had to do something on Labor Day.
You mean like watch an enormous amount of college football?
I did.
Yeah.
How about that?
It was so
And
good.
we had a guest on who said, I think UT all the way. And he found out that Buckeye Nation had a different idea.
I noticed how quickly you played that episode after it recorded.
Yes. Well, he was great. I mean, I think I had a lot of fun with that one. And then especially when he said UT was going to beat, I'm like, oh, we're running that now. No, I'm kidding. It was, I watched a lot of football, a copious amount of football. Loved it. Ready to go. Ready for the NFL season. I'm now going to get all 7 days of my week ruined because I'm betting on college football, and I of course have my fantasy football. So this ought to be fun. 7 days of just misery, and then 5 days of running the business.
Isn't it great?
I love it. I look forward to this time of the year every year because I am
It's like
a
Christmas.
masochist. All right, Alan,
Hmm.
we've done it SNL style. They always bring back the hosts that they think are the best, and these guys are always vying for who gets to come back. And we're like, yeah, well, so we've had people on twice.
Yeah.
We've had people on once, of course.
Hmm.
But what do we have now?
Have we ever had anybody 3 times?
This is the 3rd edition of the Ian Hay episode experience.
Yeah.
Let's go. The Ian Hay experience in the house. He's back. If you don't remember what Ian does, hold on to your socks because he'll tell you about your socks and what you should do with them. And it's not what you're thinking, Alan.
You probably need to wet them and put them under your door in case of a gas attack. Am I right? Am I close?
Do I even need to be here for this? And let me just say, if anyone is going to do the NPR voice, it's going to be yours truly.
That's true.
Yeah.
He
I
does have
mean,
that.
I have to hold up the intergalactic adventure team. Let's strap in and get going.
Let's do this, adventure team. We got to rock and roll. We got a great episode. We brought Ian Hay back because we're going to talk about disaster preparedness. We're going to talk about executive coaching. We're going to talk about the cruise around the world that didn't happen and talk about how lack of planning and I can't wait to hear about this stuff.
Oh, that's got to be edited. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I'll hear from a lawyer on that one.
Oh.
Great.
Okay. Well, let's Cindy. Let's keep that one in.
Yeah.
All right.
They don't know what we're talking about.
That's right. Let's go then.
They'll forget by then.
Where should we
have
start?
a bourbon with us?
You know what?
We're having Scott.
Single malt
Whiskey.
Scotch whiskey that you can only get in duty-free stores. Thank
Exactly.
you
So
for bringing it in.
this is Talisker Dark Storm. It's one of my favorites. Dark Storm. I'm not trying to overshadow the current world of thankfully we haven't had landfall. Obviously, Aaron was pretty damn close, and it impacted people in North Carolina, amongst others. We had multiple people die in rip currents. I mean, really, why I brought the dark storm is I need people to, or we need people to better prepare. Right.
And you start with a good bottle of booze in the basement.
I don't. We call that cellar temperature. I mean, and there's one great place to be in any really bad weather, and that's in the cellar.
So let's talk about disaster preparedness a little bit. So we just talked about hurricanes, and we're coming into our hurricane season here in
We're in hurricane
We're
season.
fully into hurricane. We're coming into the peak, though.
the peak.
But it's been quiet. Knock on wood. It has been quiet. And we've had such a wet, hideous. I just thought, oh, this is going to be a horrible year, and nothing so far.
I mean, it's the craziest. I've been in Georgia for 25 years, right? 3-year stint in DC, 4 deployments. This is by far the most bizarre weather that I remember in Georgia. Super hot summer, my electric bill's out of control. And then all of a sudden we have this cool down.
Hmm.
and this massive high pressure that really prevented that storm from making landfall. And so I think we got super lucky. It has tamped down, you know, production, and the peak for is September 11th through October 10th. So that's really the window where we are most productive, the peak and high point for hurricanes in the North Atlantic. And that's why, you know, we need people to be better prepared. So here we are. It's September. It's National Preparedness Month, obviously in recognition of 9/11. And what I want people to do is to really focus on, you know, having that lickety split disaster kit, knowing what your plan is. Remember, you know, here are the goal. Here come the. I always like to launch with the golden nuggets. Text, don't call. If you send me a cross street, I can find you. If you don't send me anything, I have no idea. Just remember that when you send three of your friends the cross street of where you are, that you, when you're safe, you say all clear or I am safe or what have you. Because if I don't hear from you, I'm going to work,
Mm.
and we're either going to find you or we're going to find a dead body, but we're going to find something.
Uh-oh.
Man, that is a dark storm.
It is a dark storm. It's also, we're celebrating an anniversary of Katrina hitting in New Orleans, and that's bringing up a lot of documentaries, a lot of news, and kind of bringing that back. And how it affected us here in Atlanta is a lot of people had to evacuate and ended up here in Atlanta for that. But you went back and looked at this. So we've had kind of a lucky disaster, hurricane season here in the Southeast. But one of the things we talked about right before we got on air is that with what's going on, and we're not doing the political thing, but when something like this happens, we rely on our federal government to help us, and our state governments usually back us up. But right now, in the current environment, are you concerned that there won't be that support that we're hoping for if something big happens?
Well, you know, I think, you know, post 9/11, and one of the reasons why we did that short, you know, 20-minute episode on the lickety split disaster kit was to really increase preparedness. And this obviously is critical for our small business owners as well. So the thing you've got to keep in mind is that we usually have more bench strength, right? The FEMA apparatus would have been in place. When you have a large, you know, scale multi-state jurisdiction disaster, you need that bench strength to people who know how to do procurement, right? Um, is it a great idea to put more money toward the states for their own preparedness so that they can choose the types of disasters that they face and be better prepared for that? Sure. We just don't have an apparatus right now. And so, one of the things we want to make sure is that you individually, your family, your pets are prepared for that disaster, and also for your small business owners. Make sure you have your backup files. Make sure that as long as you can get to a computer without a network, everything's in the right. If you have everything in the cloud, man, please, 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 please hear me. Ask me how I know. Make sure you have a copy that you keep somewhere else. So I have actually I have 5 drives, but I have three. One gets rotated in and out of my Strongbox in the bank, and the other two, one is away from us, and the other, the other is in the car or with a friend, you know, wherever it is. But the key is to make sure anything that you have in the
It
cloud.
sounds like we've got the air horn going off in our ears, but no, we have disaster preparedness happening right now in Lalamia's house.
I am so impressed that you created these special sound effects.
Right. It sounds like an
I
air
mean, I
horn
feel like we're right in the
when he
middle
said,
of reconstruction.
right. It's just perfect. That's what we're doing. But don't worry, you won't hear this on the podcast. But what's going on is we are remodeling the house right now. I'll put pictures out there eventually. But back to these drives. When you say your drives, this is all your personal financial information, personal what? What is on those drives?
100%. I just want to note that the professionally trained PIO did not break character. I would have kept going if that noise didn't. It was probably not.
No,
gonna
you were doing a
show up.
great job.
I'm like, I am staying in. I'm on a camera live. So yes, when I say drive, and
And
thank you.
Alan went squirrel on us. I know. Thank you, Alan.
Well, we have problems with sound all the time, so I figured why not?
I love this.
He's
This is
very
so
he's very bougie about his sound. And look, my
Uh,
friend Richard Miller, right, who runs Mission Control Studios in Arizona, he's like, look, Ian, people will tolerate bad video. They will not tolerate bad audio.
Who else said something like that?
Winston Churchill.
Mhm.
Oh, I knew that was
Getting warmer.
Okay. No, brother. Anyway, can we get back to Ian? And what's on those drives? What should I save on those things? Save on them.
Well, your fantasy league.
Of course, that's number one.
Hey, look, anything that drives revenue, right? So if that's your thing, make sure you keep the Powerball ticket in there. But no, basically, yes, an
My
external
over under
drive.
bets for the NFL. Falcons over.
Wow. Gin card. Yeah.
Perfect.
Gym card.
No, the gin card is golf handicap.
Yep. I have that on the phone. That's right. Got to have that.
But anything you store digitally, make sure you have a paper copy.
Okay. There you have it.
And meaning anything that's critical. I'm not saying you got to have everything. Another thing we add, make sure you have pictures of your family or your pet, just in case you can't access your digital device, in case they go missing, you want to be able to find them or post something, reproduce that image. But really, the most important three gold nuggets is text, don't call. Give me a crossroads where I can find you. Have that plan of communication with your family. Number two, if you've got a lot of information in the cloud, don't be reliant on that's going to be there, right? So make sure you have that backed up. You're storing it in different locations. And then third, you got to have cash. Like we are such a, cashless society, and go for small denominations. Otherwise, I'm a very expensive banker.
Mm.
So hundreds is not good.
If you want to pay everything for $100 for everything, sure.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, just
But
your,
I've
just
got
your cheetah money.
All right. Oh, that's well, that's turning into 20s and 50s. But that's a different story. Don't ask me how I know that one either. Back to the vault, please. So much. Let's go back to the vault. Again, pictures. Pictures of what? Nope, not those pictures. Got you. Identification pictures. What? I did. When did that mole get there?
we literally cannot take him anywhere.
No.
This is what makes this fun.
Let's keep going. So, disaster preparedness. So you got to have it personally. One of the things you talked about with your lickety split kit is a couple of things we have to have. What's the one thing that Alan remembers
Oh, this is great. Quiz time.
from the lickety split kit? Lickety split kit.
Disaster kit.
Disaster.
I think
Let
I
me do
already
the
said
marketing,
it.
please.
It is a bottle of your favorite booze that makes you happy in the middle of a storm.
I don't remember that being in the kit, but I'm adding that.
Ding, ding, ding.
Look, it's a great trade partner. You can trade it for those critical things. Watch this. Water.
Water, food, batteries, cash,
Yeah.
some sort of way to make fire, light.
No, that's what I remembered.
All right.
Let's make some fire.
Maybe something to keep warm, like one of those reflective things. I don't know. A Zodiac boat. Does that fit?
A Zodiac boat. Yeah, okay.
What's a Zodiac boat?
It's a little inflatable one that you just get it, you can get out of Dodge with.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
Yeah.
I can just see that.
The one
Dry
that
as a
Navy
bone,
SEALs
and I
coming
go,
on.
and I go.
I've got
pull
one
the
in my
rip cord,
attic.
and now I got to
Because of Ian.
You do not have it. No, what should you have in your attic? Here we go. Now it's
An
really
axe.
quiz time.
an axe. Oh, good call.
Huh?
I remembered
Who
that.
listen- No, you didn't.
I did.
You remember when I said it.
I do. That's right.
Love it. Crowbar and an axe. Always keep it in your attic. Never know when you have to get out. I actually have a hatchet right near my bed, just in case. Window's right there, but just in case.
And note to self:
Do you
make sure not.
sleepwalk?
No, we don't do that. I mean, I'm from Massachusetts, so there's a great opportunity here to do a Lizzie Borden joke, but we'll leave that
Oh, yeah.
behind.
All right, so lickety split. Let's talk about just personal things. And we'll get over to what businesses need to do. To be prepared, what you said is in every room we needed to have a couple of things as well, right? Didn't you say that? No,
Go ahead.
I thought it was fire extinguishers, not just in the kitchen.
every room.
I remember him saying not in just the kitchen.
Right. So ideally, what I have are fire blankets, right? So I have a fire extinguisher downstairs in the kitchen where it's most likely, and then I have a fire blanket upstairs. In the event, how many electronic devices do we have plugged in now, right? So these little fire blankets are great for an electrical fire. You just lay the blanket over the burning, and it kills the oxygen, puts the fire out.
Oh, and then you
And
don't
it's
have the
reusable.
crap all over your house.
Mm-hmm.
See, I almost remembered it was a fire blanket, not a fire
Good job,
extinguisher.
Chris.
Right.
I-
And
by the way, I just want our listeners to know, if anybody's like me, I had never used a fire extinguisher
Mm-hmm.
until this last year.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, well, I'm on the HOA board, and somebody texted me, and there was a trash can on fire up at the clubhouse. And so they were freaking out. Let's call the fire department and everything. I'm like, I got a fire extinguisher. I'll just go up and use it. And
on the way there, were you going be-doo, be-doo, be-doo,
Yeah.
be-doo, woo, woo?
Fully ensconced in a Minions outfit. I love it.
I mean, I was rolling my eyes, like, really, and I get there, and there's a pretty good amount of fire coming out of, the huge trash cans that we have here in Georgia.
Literally a dumpster fire.
It was literally a dumpster fire. And so I thought I had all the weaponry I needed, and I pulled the trigger and it was empty at
Yeah.
that point. I'm like, there isn't a whole lot in here, but it appeared that the fire was out. And then next thing you know, the flames came back. So, saving a couple bucks by getting a little vanity boutique, small one. No, I think you need a real fire extinguisher. So I did, everybody panicked at that, and I just rolled the trash can into the middle of the parking lot, and then the fire department came, and they just ceremonially walked out,
Yep.
put it out. And it was a goddamn birthday party.
Oh,
Somebody threw their birthday party. How do you not make sure the candles are out?
oh man. Are you asking why are people stupid?
Yeah, I
This,
guess
this
so.
is a whole nother
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, because how about this is why as I rented my house, we built the house in the mountains, we rented out, and the guy told me you cannot have a real working fireplace. Let me tell you why. I had a renter who thought they were doing me a favor and took the embers out and put them out on the deck. And it's a wood deck, everybody.
Oh.
So note to self:
That's nice.
hot embers, wood deck equals fire extinguisher or
Mhm.
fire. Yeah. He goes, don't do it. So that's why we took all the gas out when I have an electric fireplace. So, and we have electric candles up there too. Guess how many times every time we go up there to check them out, how many of them are just charred silly because people try to light them all the time. So let's not go on are people stupid.
Oh, I've got the ultimate on that, but I'll save it for another time.
Another episode. All right,
It-
back
it-
to you.
It's a fire extinguisher. People are stupid story. It's pretty good.
All right, back to Ian.
I don't
Hey,
know.
Ian,
I mean,
why don't you go ahead and
All right,
say,
tell us.
I can't say anything
Tell
more
us
than
the
what I've
story.
No, that's
I'm
okay. I don't want to.
Was it firsthand you putting it out?
No,
Being from our Shabbat?
no, it was we had our cabin up in Blue Ridge, and I get a call, and we'd had a break-in, and so these three idiots, and apparently one of them was barefoot, kicked in the back glass, so to get in, and then obviously that meant they had a bloody foot, so they got into my liquor cabinet. They're having a good time, but then they also got into my first aid kit. Somewhere along the line, they must have realized, our fingerprints are all over this first aid kit. Let's light it on fire in a cabin that's made out of
Wood.
yeah, in a stairwell that is all
Wood.
and it's super dry. And so they light that on fire, which then catches the stairs on fire. So then they get my fire extinguisher, which puts out the fire, thank God, but then it has the foam all over the place, which then has their footprints all over the place. So at that point, then they decided to rip the water pipe out of the wall and flood my basement just to get that cleaned up.
Did we find these idiots?
We did. Thank God for Fannin County's finest, because I think in Atlanta they'd be like, sucks to be you, call your insurance company.
Sure.
And they're like, I think I know who that is, and we're going to get them. And we're going to make them pay you back.
oh, that's awesome.
And for years, I got these weird little, I'm sure they were garnished check bits sent to me
Wow.
as a result. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was a good story.
That's a victory right there.
I love it. Give it a small garnish.
But they called me so many years later, and they're like, it's going to trial. And I'm like, I don't even really remember other than what I just told you. I
Right.
mean, I'm like, just do whatever you need to do, but please don't bring me into court, because I just it's so far in my past. I mean, it was like 8 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So disaster preparedness,
Mhm.
being ready in your own home.
Yep. You ready to use your fire extinguisher?
I love it.
Yep.
And let's double check. We got them. Fire blankets on each floor. That's what it was, not each room. And an axe or a hatchet in your attic if you ever have to escape out or let the.
Even if you have an axe or a hatchet, honestly, I mean, that can't be easy to hack through a roof.
I've never had to. I'll let you know if I do.
Okay.
But
I'm thinking.
I mean, you can't even wield it, and it's on an angle, and
Yeah. I don't know.
but it gives you a
Where's it from?
shot. Keeps you busy until you drown.
Yeah. Thank you, Alan.
Or fire, right?
I was thinking.
Right.
I was
As-
thinking
as
more
it gets
smoke
hotter,
inhalation.
You're probably going to swing
Fire.
with a little more gusto.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's why you have the crowbar, though. Use the crowbar to ply, right, to ply the boards apart, and then the hatchet to get through whatever you need to get through.
Now we're talking.
What
Uh,
the?
And
Sweet.
remember where
You
that
want to go
comes
to the attic
from.
and try it out?
You know
Oh,
what?
you're at it,
Maybe
not
we
me.
should. There is a company out there who wants to pay to have us do this. We're going to make it a strongman competition.
like
The three
the
of
way
us
you
are going to
think.
cut through a fake addict.
That's right.
Oh,
We're going to go up there. We'll put our gloves on, put our mask on, we'll put our glasses on.
Anybody in
and we'll,
Talisker, if you're interested in sponsoring this event, we would love to have you host
and
this.
what could go wrong? Alcohol and axes in the attic. Ooh, alcohol, axes, attic. I think we
And
have
then
a
they
new
can make us
podcast.
toss the caber.
Oh, he's using all those fancy
Hey, look,
words again.
I've picked it, but meaning I've picked it up, right? So that's calling picked it, but they wouldn't let me throw it because it was starting to lean a little too far. So you got to be safe with novices.
Okay. All right, let's get back to business stuff. So, since we've met Ian and talked to him, and he has all this wealth of information and understanding around national disaster preparedness, you also started to say, wait a minute, I got something I can do. I can offer back to people. So, you've been coaching some people. So, let's talk about your business coaching and what you're doing. What's your angle? What's your difference? What are you doing with people to get them ready?
I mean, there's a beautiful transition, and don't worry, I'm going to come back to other things we can do to prepare your business. We'll catch that at the other end. However, when I'm not responding to a disaster or in deployment, I have been doing executive coaching since 2003, but I've been coaching since I was a sophomore in high school. So I became proficient. I was a decathlete, placed 17th in Massachusetts State Decathlon, had to learn each of those events, became technical experts in those, and I would teach many people, and ended up being an assistant track coach for the throwing events at my alma mater, Beloit College, which I believe just made the Forbes top 25 list or something. So yay, Beloit. Um, so what's the difference? So, who are my clients? If you're somebody, you open the fridge door and you look at that salad that's about to be compost, and you made a promise to yourself you were going to eat that, you could be my client. If you're somebody who like, oh, I'm going to catch up this weekend, and yet rarely if ever do. If you're in mid-career and you're not sure, you just go to work and you're not really feeling like what you're doing is meeting your personal mission, or it's just no longer satisfying to you. We go back to your favorite Churchill quote: do what you like, but like what you do. So I have programs to help do these sorts of things, whether it's magnetic networking, where I help people network to find that great next job, whether it is career counseling, career clarity, career curation. I've worked with people who've actually designed their own job and then sold it to their executive. And in fact, one of my current clients did that at a prior firm. He's now a small business owner. I have sent his name along to be interviewed when you guys get around to him. Amazing guy, absolutely amazing. He fights for his people. They're now doing hot washes. So a hot wash is something we do. Let's say we finish the show, and then Chris is going to ask, "Hey, what are the three things that could have gone better, and the three things that went really well?" That's a hot wash. So we each pick three things that
that's
went well.
completely different than the hot wash I was thinking of.
Where were you
I'm
about that?
not going there.
You sure?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm still on the cheetah money, I think.
Okay. All right.
And,
I was hot washing at the cheetah Monday.
and I was like,
That's another
like
one.
hot
That's a
hot
whole-
wax
that's
is
a
gonna
whole different
somehow
room.
work into this.
Mama San
and
found me a whole different room.
There's a picture
This
I
is
don't
great.
want in my head
What?
any longer.
This is where
Hot
I know
wash.
I am just a
wash.
I'm just a caboose attached to this out of control train.
Where,
But anyway, so he's doing
where
hot
were
wa-
we?
he's so my client is doing hot washes with his team.
All right. So hot wash.
And
Three things that went well
Yep.
during this meeting. and
Right.
Three things that could have gone better.
Whether it's a meeting, your week, your month, your revenue, right? So what they're doing on Fridays is getting together and say, all right, what worked well this week and what didn't? And they're doing it on their own, even
Hot
when he's
wash.
there, doing a hot wash. And this is a very common thing we do after exercises or operations. And the reason why we call it a hot wash is we're probably all standing in a circle at the airport. Like we're all about to go back to do our regular lives. And we want to quickly capture what went well and what didn't. This works extraordinarily well for you small business owners.
The stand-up meeting. I like that idea
That
as well.
too,
Is that you're standing up and we don't have time for chit chat because
100%.
people sit down. Hey, do you have a minute? And sit down. I'm like, I do. No, you can stand it up. That meeting goes a lot quicker, my friends.
You've removed all the chairs but one in your
I do.
office.
And that one is not exactly chair height. It's more like kitty height.
Like a little stool in the corner.
I do, and it's right under my chair. Yep, looking down on them, so I can go. Are we done with this conversation now? Is there more you want to discuss this more? I can. But no, I love that because it forces people to be a lot more effective and choose their words wisely and think through things and realize that we're not going to sit here and shoot the shit for 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
We're going to actually get after it, figure something out, and move on.
Yeah, I mean, you could go through 15 people, and then you have got 45 data points. And then, of course, what we do in our world is we'll do a full-on after action. We'll look at all the evaluations we did, and essentially we're attempting to get to the root cause. Again, for small business owners, what are the root causes? Why didn't you hit that revenue number? If you don't measure it, you don't manage it.
Huh. Usually it starts with D and ends with umass. That's sweet D's.
Cue fire extinguisher noise.
Oh. Hey, I'm just throwing them off this. Johnny Carson bits. Here we go. All right. So you come in, you help people with the business coaching, work on some of these things to help them become more effective. But one of the things you mentioned that was, I think, very interesting is you're helping people either exit the one they're in, their job they're in, and move to another one. So that's more like career transition.
It's part of it. It really, I'm a huge fan of Richard Bohl's "What Color Is Your Parachute," and I use that as part of the three-legged stool in this endeavor. And that is, you've got to do a little self-evaluation. You got to figure out what lights you up. And so I often will look to people's avocations, what they like to do volunteering, what they like to do in their spare time, and then how do we transition that into a vocation where they can make a living or at least a partial living,
Alan?
I'm
call it a
just thinking,
side
does that
hustle.
make Chris a cruise director? What would that make you?
What's my avocation?
Yeah, so Vegas, fast cars, fast boats,
Beach,
beach.
mountains, women, water, hot water.
Hot washes,
Hot water, definitely.
whiskey.
Back in
Yeah,
that hot water.
I'm thinking maybe I did miss my calling, Alan. I should have been on the love boat. I should
I
have been the
think so.
cruise director.
I'm
The
Chris, you're
love boat.
cruise director.
I'm
But,
Julie.
I
the
mean,
cruise
look,
director.
AI is not going to get us for a little bit. We might all end up living to 125. I mean, we've got to prepare. We got to prepare now. Longevity is going to be a thing.
I wouldn't take the over on that one for me.
I mean, honestly,
would
if
take
we're
the
putting
over
money on it,
125 by his 50 on that one.
yeah.
But I appreciate the can I have some more bourbon? I'm kidding.
Do you want bourbon or do you want the dark and
You're
stormy?
welcome. And then the third piece of what I'm doing now, because this is really landing with Gen Xers who are mid-career, is a thing called AI on-ramp. And so, you know, I know a lot of people are anti-AI or don't trust it, what have you. All I can tell you is this: AI is a language. And if you aren't fluent with this language, you could be fundamentally unemployable by the end of the decade because it's going to become ubiquitous. It is going to be something that maximizes your skill and, for me, creativity. Right? It's not quite Jarvis. However, I can tell you in the 3 years that I've been using it on an almost daily basis, it has vastly improved. And of course, we never thought it would take the creative jobs. We thought it was, oh, this is going to, do the nuts and bolts stuff. It's going to be a while before we have plumbers and handy people, right? We will probably get there. But we got to worry about, 5 million truck drivers being out of work. And, that's so let's find a way to interface with this device, play with it at the level that you're comfortable with. I've seen people who put their dreams into it, and it shows. You can tell you, like, hey, here's what's going on in your life. This is why you're dreaming that. That's what this stands for. To I wrote, Rick Lascorla's bio in I think it took about 7 seconds, and it was awesome. Right, all about the prompting, how carefully, like we'll use a page, 2 pages, to really garbage in, garbage out to get the right thing. And so I'm just trying to meet the user where they are with AI and then find ways that they can use it in a safe manner. The company that I contract for, they've created a thing called Astrid. I'm not going to say any more than that, but it's essentially a safe space where you put uh, it's not connect. It doesn't draw its source from the internet, right? It only draws from its design document, and so you can put in uh, a let's call it a shrimp recipe, and it will say, well, first of all, you've got to be worried about food safety, and then you've got to worry about food, uh, you know, uh, preparation, not cutting yourself. Then you've got, and it was awesome. I mean, this is something that you could use on a high-powered homeland security or emergency management exercise. And yet, the way it drew from its design document was to give you that sort of safety approach. Absolutely
Oh, so
fantastic.
that's what you meant by safe place,
Yeah.
not like safe word and
Oh my
um,
gosh.
whoops, sorry, I just was wondering.
You
All right,
just have
so
to pull us there, don't you,
I do.
man?
All right, let's go back. So AI, I love that everybody's talking about it. What is one thing that you would do today that you didn't do before AI that helps you in your biz or in anything?
So, the most important thing that I've learned about AI is have it ask you a series of questions about whatever topic you're diving into, one at a time, informing the answer with the next question. So if I ask, okay, this is the avatar of my client, ask me a question. Are they more like this or more like that? Oh, okay, well, I need somebody who recognizes that they're probably, we have one of the key terms in my business is overcome yourself. It self qualifies the client. They recognize that they've got to fundamentally change themselves in order to get a different result. If that doesn't land with you or you don't like that, you're probably not my client.
But you use these prompting questions to help identify what you should be talking about. So you use that a
Exactly.
little more self-reflect. I love that. I'll tell you what I just
I
did.
mean, that is so different because I'm thinking, okay, you use AI to help create your avatar, but basically you're having the AI help you create the avatar. The other way around, right?
It's a little bit of both, and I'll use a parallel example. So one of the things that came up with this, that's exactly where that first pain point, or not the first, I think it was the third, about that. Are you somebody who says you're going to catch up this weekend? Three-quarters of that came out of AI, and it has amassed it from an amazing course I'm in. It's called Visions to Ventures. We meet every 2 weeks. We'll meet this Friday. And we've been creating a whole marketing package inside of my, I call my AI is called Resonance, inside of ChatGPT. And so it has captured, my business philosophy, integrity, discipline, execution, and then has rolled a whole bunch of avatar elements from my current clients, where I think I'm going. And then I did something crazy to really answer your question. I listened to 3 or 4 YouTube videos. I think it was Alan Watts. I've always followed Warner Earhart, Landmark Forum, Carl Jung, and I can't remember who and Spinoza. And so I threw those four into the AI, and it knows my integrity, discipline, execution model. And I said, and it told me about all the alignment, where these things are aligned from each right quote, basically highlighting each thinker. And then I asked it one of these questions: what elements of each of these thinkers have I not is not currently in the list, the summary that you've created for me? Oh, Ian, hold by, boom, right? So it's thinking and it generates all that.
I love that one. The uh, ask ask me the question I haven't asked you that I should have asked you.
100%.
That one has been
100%.
that one's been pretty powerful for me in using AI to help with some things. That's been great. And you named 4 people. Did you know any one of those 4 people?
No.
Yep, I was out. I was over
Well,
for.
and what's funny is that this is exactly what I say to people when they're interviewing. They're your last question in an interview from the career counseling perspective is, what question should I have asked you? And that it really lets the interviewer's guard down. They're like, that's a great question. Let me think about that. They may not have anything. I've had people say to me and my clients, that question. That's the question that tells me, right? You're a high powered thinker. You're about problem solving. You care about what I'm looking for. It really sets you apart. And so I swear by this process, that I learned from Warren McKee, who's the leader of Visions to Ventures, and the way I work with this now. So, I told you what I had already done, these four thinkers. And then I said, what about adding Gandhi, Churchill, John Maxwell, Brene Brown? I just listed off all these great coaches and thinkers. and it just laid the entire thing out.
Wow.
And that's really, when you think about it, I was a translator between the red tape of government and the bleeding red ink of private sector. I am clearly going to be a translator between people who don't want to have anything to do with AI and actually using it. And really here, I want to create an on-ramp with my offering that if you're devoted to John Maxwell, I will tell you about what it was like to lead volunteers and save the taxpayer $500,000 to $1.7 million.
I'm chewing checkers over here because I used it to help me set my fantasy football draft strategy.
Exactly.
You did not.
I did.
Why
And
not?
And it was close. It was a little benign, little kind of vanilla, but it was pretty good. I'm drafting 10th in a 12-person league. This is the league format. Look at that. What do you think my first three options are going to be in round one?
I love it.
Given that I take option one, what do you think my comeback should be in the second one? And it was relatively close, except my draft never follows any kind of logic because our guys are all over the board. But clearly, I'm doing it for fantasy football. You're doing it for deep thinking. I would tell you how I'd used it though. Here's a practical example for a lot of home service people. I was in a house today. She says, I want to do my whole basement. Okay. Now I said, do you have a hope number? And she said a number that basically wouldn't even get me framing out a half a room. And I was like, okay, so we're way off. And she went, what? I said, let's just start cranking the numbers. And I just put it all into Chat GPT. I put all the dimensions in there. I said, I want you to calculate the drywall, the insulation, the framing lumber, and then give me an estimated price on that. And I showed her that the price alone
Yeah.
from reputable sources, the Depots, the Lowe's, the Menards, they pulled from all three. And I said the price alone for that lumber, not even with me marking this up, if you
Right.
went and bought everything, is now twice what you just said. And she went, oh my God. I'm like, yeah. And I said, I haven't even started hitting the one hammer. And I just showed her on the phone. And she goes, what are you using? I said, Chat GPT. She goes, me too. So with me just being in front of her, being very transparent, showing her, look, it's not even me thinking. This
Yeah.
is me just using this device in my hand just to show you something. And it changed the entire conversation.
And I've heard multiple people doing this,
Yeah.
right? They've like, hey, here are three phases. Give me the options. And it's gone from being a genius 5-year-old to a genius 8, maybe 12-year-old now.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And it's always going to hallucinate. And yet, the more power that you can, right, put into this, the either reducing options, give me this or be this person, you'll get a better result. And the key is you've got to have that human review. You can't just copy and send because I'll always catch something. I'll catch something that's off. But its ability to synthesize that information and to have, I was making the joke, one of the marketing pieces I may use is I've studied everything from Socrates to Spinoza so that you don't have to. What I'm going to give you are the nuggets, absolute golden nuggets from their thinking, their way of being, uh, that alters your entire life, right? So the Socratic, if I had to pick one Socratic method, if you are asking questions, you're going to win the day because you are understanding the other person.
What do you mean by that? Was that
there's got to be more than one.
shit?
Now
I tried.
it was a little harsh for a Sandler reverse. This is how it would sound like in a Sandler world.
Yeah.
Gosh, Ian, that's really interesting. What do you?
RCA dog. You flip your head like that. You go back and forth. Yeah. Yeah. Again,
Body
guys,
rapport, mirroring.
You got to be authentic. That's the biggest thing.
100%.
Yeah, that's the biggest. So very interesting. So that's where you're kind of evolving your business coaching. But now let's get back to preparedness.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sell myself as an authenticity coach, and yet that's really what I do. Is
I agree. I think you are.
I help people get in touch with the thing that lights them up. Really reframing. Like what I love is when people go, oh, you know what? I actually do have great, work-life balance. I did, I was able to do this, and one of my favorite things that I tell people is, look, on Wednesday evenings I clean kitchens and bathrooms. Ideally on Friday evening or Saturday I clean the rest of the house, and that way I can enjoy my environment for the weekend. And I'll never forget when I said that to a coaching client. It altered his entire life, right? Do these things at 10 items a day. You need a break, you're tired of doing work, quickly go do something physical and move the 10 things, organize 10 things. At the end of that week, right, you've done 70 operations and it doesn't feel like you went, you know, head to head with a fire extinguisher that didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, it worked.
Uh,
No, the first one.
No,
The first one.
It went 3 seconds.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I'm working on my sound effects. Sound effects coming later. Next soundboard, we'll get the sound effects. All right, let's talk. Let's get back to it because oh my God, it's already almost done with our episode. Alan, we've got to talk preparedness. So the government's not here to help me. What do I need to be doing?
Well, if you're a small business owner, let's make sure you have all those things that we talked about.
That's the 3 drives.
Right. You gotta have
With pictures on
your
people.
external drive. Make sure you can copy stuff that's in the cloud. Make sure you've
I
got
just remember that.
good petty cash, because that's the thing that's going to make the difference.
5s and 20s.
Don't expect. Look at him. He's dialed in
Was
now.
once.
We had to speak his language though. We had to make it real.
I
So
spoke-
when I said
I
peanut
spoke
money, he's like, oh,
Tip money.
okay,
Yeah, bring.
It used to be ones. Man, it used
I
to be.
may have to steal the first part of that tip money, right? If you're carrying tip money, then I'm no longer a very expensive banker. And then really the key is any documents that you need to prove your business or be able to receive a grant or loan or what have you. Make sure you have that because that could mean the difference between the life and death of your business in one of these events.
One other thing I would tell everybody is that if you don't have a good insurance agent, you need to have them, and you need to have continuous dialogue with them, because in the event of, like, again, if you're leasing a space and it goes up in flames, you're leasing a space and the power goes down in the entire grid for 2 days.
Yep.
You got to know what's going on, and you can call your insurance agent and go, "Hey, is there any relief here?" In both cases, not the fire, but the grid, our grid went down for 2 days. He said there is. How much of an impact was? I said no, we were able to go remote right away, so it really wasn't a big deal. So we didn't really lose anything other than food and fridge. And he was like, "Is that something you want to make a claim on?" I'm like, "No, I don't think so."
Yeah.
I said the salad can wait. I'd say I was listening.
I appreciate the comeback humor, man. That's great. Yeah, this is exactly when you have, just like you have to handle your personal preparedness, you've got to handle that for your people, right? You've got to have a communication plan, even if it's a text string. You've got to know where we're going to rally in a disaster, and then how are you going to outwardly communicate to your clients and make sure everybody's feeling okay? If you haven't, practiced this or workshopped that, call me in. I'd happily run you through a tabletop.
Let me give you one that just happened to us. I didn't realize it. I am not on Verizon. I'm on T-Mobile. My general manager is on Verizon. He was not responsive Saturday night and Sunday. I just thought he happened to be in the mountains or doing whatever. And come to find out, there was an outage in Verizon in the Metro Atlanta area. So what would you do in something like that? I mean, let's just talk about that. So I have an outage in one carrier, or maybe both carriers, or I don't know. Tell me what I should tell my 32 employees what to do if we have an outage like that.
Smoke signals? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Always great. So
They would have heard the first word, by the way. Smoke. Yeah, I know.
For over a decade, I carried a second phone on a different network. If you have revenue, or if your business if that's serious, you need to have that, or a sat phone, or some other way, right? Have a Starlink account, what have you. Um, so that's one thing. I have used Facebook to communicate with people as a matter of secondary resort, right? Somebody's phone
I
went
was going to
down.
ask, do you think social media may be the way? Because that's exactly how he found out that he was down.
Yeah.
Is that he was looking on social media and said, "Oh man, it was right there."
Yep.
That's what happened to me. And so he said, and he was like, he was just falling over. So I apologize. I'm like, dude, how would you know?
Yeah.
Were they going to send you a note saying, "Oh, by the way, your network's down"? They can't. So you have no idea.
Yeah. And in many cases, you've got companies that have bought, network on the main network. So they may be a reseller, right? And so it doesn't matter if you're on X company. If the Verizon trunk is down, you're down. And it's critical to know.
All right,
right?
give me some conspiracy theory stuff. What again?
We did go to the moon. I want to be very clear about this.
Oh, good.
You know, I do have one guy who absolutely said,
I-
"I can't believe you bought into that." I'm like, "What do you mean you bought into it?" I said,
I used to, and I talked him off the flat Earth edge.
Okay. Flat Earth edge. Exactly. So conspiracy theories, though, we always think, the government's always listening, AI is always listening, things are always listening. Therefore, I'm not going to use it. So how do you tell people, look, you've got to embrace it? And oh, by the way, they've been listening to you a lot longer than you've ever thought they were. And basically, let's face it, you're that boring. Nobody cares.
Well, and legitimately, right, how do I respond to that? Number one, government is so busy that it doesn't necessarily have time and space to focus on you. Um, this is one of the reasons that made me more comfortable with AI, in that if I wanted learning from somebody, I want it learning from me. I want it learning my ethics. I want it being responsible. Doesn't mean that it always will be. However, as an example, if all of us are that way, right, we may get a different result. I think. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I
Oh,
was sorry, adjusting. I wanted to make sure somebody wasn't listening.
What?
I was checking my implants.
Looking for drones.
What? No, I didn't say that. What? What? No, no, we're back. Okay,
do
I
we do we need to have him committed or just looked at?
I think you forgot to take a pill this morning.
what pill? Squirrel.
See, you always have my back. Make sure in your disaster kit you've got your prescriptions. You can get to your prescriptions. Make sure you have
See how I did
several
that, Chris?
days or a month. I mean, man, he's awesome.
I do need that. That's a good, actually, another good point.
It is a good point.
Yep. Screw the water. Need the drugs. What? Well, I need water.
Well, how else do you need? How right? You need the water to take the drugs,
Have
right?
you actually thought about how? I mean, you're not that far from the Chattahoochee. Do you have a way to filter it,
Nope.
Chris?
I don't. I do up in the mountains. I have
I
all
do,
that-
but not on me. I did when I came before. I have the tourniquet today.
Oh,
Oh,
Right.
Oh,
And I always
okay.
look.
Really?
I also brought the red bag because I have to bring. You know, you need to be able to reconstitute the federal government, which we can do right now, and the green bag, money bag.
I forgot about the bag.
oh my God, that's right.
I love that.
You brought the tourniquet. That's good. Can we practice on Alan? Alan, get your leg up here.
Wow.
No, it's not for long. All right. So let's for the listeners maybe who didn't listen to that, let's explain the bag and reconstituting.
So very quickly, I carry a red bag that's got 4 copies of the Constitution. Um, Obviously, Article 1 is the judiciary. You have 2 houses. You need 2 copies of the Constitution for the House and the Senate. They must be in the same city because they have to conference as they write laws. The executive branch, Article 2, can be somewhere else. Judiciary, Article 3, can be somewhere else as well. But you've got to have the legislative branch together to create laws. And from that, if we have a pencil and writing paper, we can reconstitute the government. And as we did last time, I was the legislature. The man
Land of Chris.
was number
Thank
2.
you.
Was number 2, the executive branch.
branch.
And
Yeah.
what I loved is Alan's over here and he's reading and he's like, "Come on, man, we're in the podcast." He's like, "No, no, no. He's actually studying the laws.
He
to
did. We
make
did lose
sure
Alan on that
he-
one.
He keeps us in check, right?
He-
Which is vital."
Riveting podcast when one of the hosts just starts reading and not engaging at all.
Oh, but then he busted like you know, it's even better than in terms so plain as to command their assent. I'm not going to repeat the quote. You actually have to go back and listen to the podcast because Alan kills it at that. It was awesome.
Well, I don't remember that at all.
Of course.
It's
Oh, of
worth
course I
listening to again. That's all.
All
I can
right.
say.
So really, the planet has to collapse. You survive. You've got the red bag. We can put it back together.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just, the Southeast survives, right? Region 4 backs up Washington, D.C. And, we have to look at our current political environment. We have a leader that's talked about putting nuclear devices in the field, right? We had an attack at the CDC. It's game. I mean, I meant to say that at the outset, like, it's more gamey and even more jungly than it was when I was here a year ago. So we got to take care
It
of
is
ourselves.
gamey and jungly, isn't it?
Gamey and Jungly. That's our podcast, the Small Business Safari, and we're coming to the end. Ian, you did it again, man. This has been Gold Nugget City. You learned a lot, not only about maybe your personal growth. Maybe you like a salad. Maybe you don't. Maybe you like to clean your toilets. Maybe you don't. Don't invite me over, by the way. Very gaggy. Can't handle that. So yeah. Oh God, no. Bad toilets. Got to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can't do it.
No, I can do it.
I get well.
I actually do it at our house. That's my job.
You clean the toilets.
Mhm.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I don't have to do laundry, but I do toilets.
Oh.
It works.
And oddly enough, you can do both in a Lowe's Home Depot bucket, so long as you have those detergent strips that you can drop in and have the toilet seat that fits over the bucket. I'm here to help.
He's always here to help everybody. Ian, hey, Ian, how can everybody get a hold of you, man? Let's put that out there again.
Yeah, so if you want to reach me, please call me on 770-293-8870. Again, that's Ian Hay, 770-293-8870. And here live, if you go to lickety-split-disasterkit.com, that's lickety-split-disasterkit.com, you'll be able to add an email, you'll get a quick worksheet, and I'm going to create a special for the adventure team. We'll give you a discount. I have a 30-minute video that goes through my entire disaster kit, and we'll make sure there's a special for your listeners.
Love it.
All right, guys, go out there, lickety split disasterkit.com. All right, we got to do this, everybody. Hey, go make it a big day. Let's go make it a great week. You know what? Alexander the Great said, I have no idea. So
I was like, well, I'm going to be really impressed right now.
yeah, no,
And I'm not.
no, you shouldn't be. But we got to make it better. Keep going, keep driving, keep digging. Sometimes it doesn't feel good. Sometimes you're down in the dirt. Sometimes you're down in that tunnel. You just got to feel bad. You got to get out. You got to get running. You got to get up. You got to make it happen. Let's keep it going, everybody. Make it a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.